I'm Suman. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Marco. We help companies and communities bring their people together through experiences, and this is a long-awaited episode of Marco Labs, where we bring creators together of all shapes and sizes, in this case quite large, to tell their stories. And so we're lucky to work with a whole range of creators, ranging from ice cream shops to pizza makers to, in this case, Kevin, who's a magician. And so we're really excited to share his story. And this is particularly exciting because Kevin was one of our first hosts on our platform, so we've been working with him for quite a while. And so want to pass it over to you to introduce yourself. You're a man of many talents, ranging from swimming to copywriting to we're here in your magic studio.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. I'm Kevin. My name's Kevin Blake. I am a magician. Suman and I met many years ago now, if you can believe that, years ago, when the whole virtual experience thing started. I've been doing magic for as long as I can remember, in living memory of me. You mentioned I used to swim. I used to swim competitively, not professionionally, but I used to swim. Then I was a copywriter, working at an ad agency, and eventually I was lucky enough to be able to quit that job and do magic full time. In considerable part due to Marco and doing virtual experiences during the pandemic, which was a really big boon for me. So, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, how did you first start doing magic? Right. So one just doesn't become a magician, especially you're quite good. And so, was it your 5-year-old? With a deck of cards kind of fooling around? Or
I wish it was like a fascinating story that I was orphaned at 10 years old and taking another way of a con man or something in the streets of Great Britain. But no, I was just a kid, and I got a magic set from my parents. I think it was a few things. It was that I got a magic set. The house that my parents had moved into, the previous owner, who was extremely old, had left all these VHS tapes that they had taped off the television. And one of the tapes was a Copperfield special, which I just watched over and over and over. So there was a magic shop near my house that I used to go to. A few things just kind of put together into a place where I just got sort of obsessed with it.
Cool.
From a young age.
How did your parents take it? Because I come from an Indian family, so my parents are still pretty bummed that I'm not a doctor. So was it, and now you're married.
Yeah,
right?
I am.
How did your partner take it? Was it cool, or was it kind of like, this is a bummer?
I will say, my wife has always been extremely supportive ever since she met me, and that's, I think, because she met me when I didn't have a job. I was unemployed. I was unemployed trying to do magic shows, and so she came in from the beginning knowing that I was unemployed. But my parents, they were sort of understandably slightly concerned about my career path. Luckily for them, it's turned out okay, and it's working. So they were skeptical, but as everyone is toward magic in general, them maybe slightly more so because they're my parents and worried about my how I make a living and pay for my rent.
Totally. So Eve is your wife's name.
My wife Eve, yeah.
And so did you charm her with a trick, or did she authentically kind of fall for you? How did
I think it's authentically with a trick. Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, my wife loves magic. Thank God. She loves magic, and she came to a show. We didn't meet at the show. We met before the show, but I invited her to my show. I think that sort of pushed it over the edge for her. She really loved the show, and then since then we have a normal relationship. She knows what I can and can't do. I do a lot of mind reading in the act. She knows I can't read minds. If I could, our relationship would be slightly easier.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Certainly.
It would be maybe more frightening. But
that might be the best trick if you could teach us how to
read the minds of our partners.
Yes.
No, but I love her. She's the best, and she's extremely supportive. So I'm very thankful.
This,
yeah.
There we go. So swimming, you weren't just a casual swimmer. You were competitive.
Yeah, I was competitive. You're getting to the point where you're leading into. I went to Olympic trials twice. I tried to get a spot on the Olympic team. I say try. I was very far off. There's a big gap between getting number 50 and getting number 1,
Yes.
in the country. But I used to swim all the time. I swam in college. That was sort of the thing that I was obsessed with and spent all my time doing before magic.
Yeah. Are there any lessons from swimming in terms of just competitiveness and grit?
Yeah, I
think. Sort of
I don't know if I learned it from swimming. I was sort of forced into it through swimming, but just because when you have a team and a coach and you have a commitment, you have to go to practice. You can't just not go to practice. So what I learned is just how much time it takes to get excellent at something.
Yeah.
and that's something I sort of wish I knew before I got into magic. I didn't realize how hard it was at the start. I sort of thought it was easy because you can buy tricks that just work when you try them, but it's so much more complicated than that for most of the things that I do now. And even that's just a small piece of the puzzle. The rest of it around it, in terms of learning how to present, learning how to tell a story, learning how to be entertaining on stage and weave together a narrative and craft different types of tricks and interact with people in a way that makes them feel comfortable. It's a big thing. Or uncomfortable on purpose. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, sometimes on purpose uncomfortable, but slightly uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable enough to where they're not leaving the show.
Yeah. And they feel okay with it afterwards. Yeah.
Fair enough. So we talk about this phrase, kind of, creators, the creator economy. You are yourself a creator. In this case, kind of creating your own tricks, creating an environment where magic happens. What does the word kind of mean to you, and how do you think about the creation of this environment, a show?
Yeah, I mean, the creator economy. I mean, it's another word for something that's been going on for years and years. It's just it's enabled now in a different way using technology, and seeing kind of the explosion of creators online in virtual experiences. In my case, online virtual experiences, live shows. We're sitting here at my theater where we do live shows here. Every night, tonight, tomorrow night, last night. It's just it's a beautiful thing to be able to. It's a beautiful and challenging thing to be able to make a living doing creating art or creating experiences for people. But being able to do it is also like extremely gratifying. So I think it's wonderful to have more avenues, more opportunities for all sorts of people, like you say, people who make ice cream can make a living doing experiences and creating experiences for people. Bridging that gap between like creator and audience in different ways to add value into the world is just it's fascinating.
So we're
fantastic.
Sitting here in your empty studio. Typically there would be an audience here. Or as you mentioned, you kind of do these immersive virtual experiences. Let's talk about, I mean, we're here, so maybe we talk about where are we? What's the story behind
we're here in the Palace Theater. The Palace Theater is the theater that I have a residency here in San Francisco, in North Beach. I've been doing shows here for years, but really over the past year, been doing them weekly, multiple nights a week. This is also the home of my original virtual experience, which we started when the pandemic hit and this theater was completely closed. So I sat on that stage at a table with my computer and 2 cameras, and then eventually that sort of experience grew into multiple rooms in the theater. We had like 5 cameras going on, and I would travel around the entire venue doing illusions in different rooms. The show has sort of shrunk back. It still retains its incredible and fantastic experience, and extra surprises along the way. But now that we're doing the show here, we've rebuilt sort of a theatrical environment in my studio, which is around the corner. But not my studio apartment, my studio production studio.
We are in San Francisco, and I live in New York, so when you say studio,
you're like, it's pretty good. Yeah,
pay a lot of money for this.
That's true. That's true.
So let's talk about magic. Magic people can think about it as kitschy and kind of not for everyone. They're going to see your tricks. So that is certainly not the case with you.
Yeah.
But why are people kind of enthralled by magic?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to look into where people get their information about magic from. They see it from popular culture.
Yeah.
And in popular culture, there's some incredible magic. There's hilarious parodies. And everything in between. And magic can be extremely kitschy. It can be, just like comedy can be extremely kitschy or slapstick or whatever. There's so many different flavors of it. And of course, my show and my illusions, I try to make them, like the things that I would want to see as a 32-year-old living in San Francisco who's seen some good tricks. But I think. At the end of the day, it's just a fun art. People love to be surprised. They love to see things they can't explain, especially in this world where, for all the beauty and wonderful things that come from technology and the internet and Google searches, answers are everywhere. We're almost drowned in answers. Having a few questions that you don't know the answer to, or at least going somewhere where you're going to see something that you can't explain, I feel like is even more interesting and alluring now.
Very, very poetic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself in the
I've said that
morning-
before. I've thought about these things before, yeah.
Look, for me personally, I find myself, waking up and just kind of sometimes doom scrolling on
Yeah.
Twitter and the news and Instagram. For me, I think magic is a good way to get away
Yeah,
from.
it's a slight, very, very medium-powered antidote, and it's a very low half-life. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So one more question, and then I would love to see some magic if that's in the cards.
Well, we got some. We're gonna have to get off. I'm gonna have to grab a deck of cards and come back because I don't.
Cool. So
but I will
one more
show you
question.
something, yeah.
We'll take a quick intermission
Yeah.
for that. But has it been? What are the biggest challenges you've faced? Kind of, pandemic started, a virtual event. That wasn't a phrase until
Yeah.
recently, but you've been able to build a business around it. So
I mean,
that's gratifying.
over the decade of trying to turn this into a business has been a lot of challenges getting. But it's sort of normal business challenges, connections, partners, right?
Yeah.
Finding the right ones that work together and work well, where we can both like uplift each other. This theater is one that took me 6 or 7 years to finally get my show on the stage. And it's just about, for me, it was just about resilience. In terms of taking what I know about magic and creating a virtual experience that I think is now fantastic and phenomenal, and we've done it hundreds of times for so many happy customers and clients and businesses. That was a challenge because, it's adapting at least an art form that was, for me, always about person to person, in person, live, on the stage with an audience, to a camera, to a person that I can't see, or I can see but they're in a small square, and that you can't take a card out of the deck. I mean, it runs the gamut from little things about how do you get someone to choose a card randomly and have them believe that it's a random card, to just how do you make sure that you can connect person to person, like it feels like right here,
exactly,
but with someone who's not actually really physically there.
Yeah.
And making that small little square window feel like it's nothing at all, feel like they're right there, that I think, it took practice and it took sort of imagination, but now I feel like I think that's how it feels for people when they're really there with you. We're back. We're back
with magic.
And I got a deck of cards.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a shock to many people watching that I don't just have a deck of cards on me at all times. And I used to when I was a young magician, walking around my elementary school or my middle school. I had a deck of cards at all times in my pocket to practice. Now at the theater, they are basically in every corner. There's a deck of cards, but not in my pocket. So
backup cards.
Yeah, these are the back. Yeah, exactly. Just in case we need them. I want to show you something with this. I'm just going to move this over here. I want to show you something with this deck of cards. So now, you've heard of the 3-card Monty. This is going to be sort of hard for you guys to see, so I'm going to try and make this happen in a way that you guys at home can see as well. What's your favorite card?
3 of hearts.
3 of hearts. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2 threes, the 2 red threes, the 3 of diamonds, and the 3 of hearts.
There we go.
And you know what might be good?
Should I hold these up?
You have your iPhone. Yeah. Why don't you just film with your iPhone? You can come over here a little bit closer and just get the top down. And then we have our 3rd. We're breaking the 4th wall. It's just being broken left and right. You can come a little bit closer. Yeah. Can you see okay? I'll go widescreen though, not
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Feel free to.
Am I in it?
Here. We're gonna start over for a second. So yeah, you're gonna go like this, and then you're gonna just sort of go like that. But you can sort of step right out of the frame, just like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Wait, should I turn this off?
Yeah, turn the flash off. Okay. We're back, and I got my deck of cards. I know many people at home are probably surprised that I don't just carry a deck of cards around with me at all times, like I used to when I was in elementary school, but not anymore. Suman, I'm going to have you choose a card out of the deck. What's your favorite card?
3 of hearts.
Boom. Oh, it's 3 diamonds. That's okay. I asked him beforehand. 3 of hearts, that's this one. Now, I'm going to show you something with the 2 red threes and my favorite cards, the Jokers. Why are they my favorite, you might ask?
Yes, why are they?
Well, I'll tell you. It's because they have my picture on them.
They legitimately.
They
do.
legitimately have
Okay,
my picture
yeah,
on them.
There you go.
Now, the 3-card Monty is a classic con game that you might play on the street, where you have 3 cards, and you have to keep track of, in this case, the Joker. And so we mix them around, and all you have to do is keep track of which one you think is which. So, Sumi, where's the Joker? You sure? You put $100 on it?
In this economy, no. But
You would have
there we
won
go.
$100. That's
Yeah.
too bad. You should have done that. That's the 3-card Monty. Very simple, but the problem is it happens outside of your hands. You can't really control it, and often the con person will sort of never let you touch the cards. They will cheat at any point that they can in order to not lose their own money. So in this case, we're going to do it just with your cards that you chose, the 3 of hearts and this matching card, the 3 of diamonds.
Okay.
But this time it'll happen in your hands.
Okay.
So it's called the 2-card Monty just because it's 2 cards. So hold your hands just like this, and I'm going to give you the 3 of hearts. Now, Suman, tell me, what card do you have in your hand?
3 of hearts.
How confident are you that's the 3 of hearts?
With you, my confidence level is medium.
Medium,
So, yes.
medium.
Medium.
Well,
to
you
high.
just saw me place it in there. You saw it's the
Yes,
3 of hearts.
yes, yes.
Has to be the 3 of hearts.
It does.
So,
yeah.
Simon, what's that card?
3 of hearts.
It has to be.
It has to be.
100% certain.
98% certain.
Watch. Turn it over. Yeah, it's the 3 of hearts still.
Okay,
Okay,
there
good. Okay, you got the 3 of hearts. I have the 3 of diamonds. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose, or we're going to sort of swap them back and forth. All you have to do is keep track. And
Sure.
again, if you keep track, you win $100. So
Yes.
I'm going to give you the diamond, and I'm going to take the heart.
Yep.
I have the heart. Now I'm going to give you back the heart and take the diamond. Watch
Yep.
very closely. No, hold it. Yeah, just like that. Now don't look. But what do you think that card is? Do you think it's the heart or the diamond? Which one do you think is on bottom and top? Hold them
Diamond,
flat
heart,
for me.
top.
You think you didn't think I switched them?
No.
Simon, this is why you don't make the bet. Because you can't win the money. You see, because I told you what my favorite cards were.
Yeah.
Turn them over. And those are, of course,
Oh,
the 2
gosh.
jokers. And that's a little bit why you don't play card games with strangers, friends at home.
Or not strangers.
Or not strangers or friends,
Yeah.
really,
Like
who
I
are
said,
going
in
to
this
take your
economy,
money.
You can't be betting with Kevin Blake.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Thanks for watching, guys.
Excellent. Okay. All right. That was a great trick. A couple more questions. We're going to get a quick fire round.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned storytelling as kind of a pretty necessary part of a magic show or
Yeah.
a show that
Yeah.
And you used to be a copywriter, so I imagine you
I
did
did.
storytelling.
I
probably
did,
for a
yeah.
tech company, so maybe
Yeah.
that's interesting. How does storytelling and then getting a community to follow along with that story kind of, how do you think about?
Yeah, I mean, storytelling within a show is vital. I mean, especially in a show that has a theatrical component to it. If you're going to ask someone to sit down for an hour, there has to be things going on. You know, especially
You're
when
taking my money, that's what's going on.
exactly that's a big part. That's a big part of it. That's number one is the money paid, and then you get the story and the magic tricks. But even in a context of a small trick, in the context
Yeah.
of a big show, in the context of a career and a life. Story is everything. So in a small trick, the story is about gambling and 3-card money and 2-card money,
Yeah.
and it's just an avenue to see something that you're surprised with. With a large show, it has to be small stories with a bigger story that sort of connects threads
Yeah.
together. In terms of outside of a show or outside of a trick, obviously in a sense, being a magician is being someone who's fictionally creating an identity, because I can't actually do magic, but I can sort of pretend to do magic, and that fictional identity of being a magician is bigger than just me, but it also provides people something to believe in, which they find interesting as well and fun as well.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. So,
I don't know about well said, but it was said.
Yeah. And what makes you different from other magicians? Are you,
My height.
It's not, yeah.
My height and my noodle-like arms.
Yeah. Do you have a magician nemesis, or is there?
Yeah, I have an arch nemesis,
Yeah.
but I don't say his name.
He might appear.
It can be a curse like that. I think I'm similar to a lot of magicians, but I'm also different. I think every just like every writer or every comedian tells jokes, I do magic tricks and some of my illusions that I do illusions that tons of other people do them in maybe a slightly different way. I have my own illusions that I've made that no one else does. But at the end of the day, you're coming to see, when you see a magician, you're seeing a person. And, in that sense, I am not David Blaine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Some differences, some similarities, but I tend to love theatricality, storytelling, comedy, mind reading, and combining it all.
Yeah, amazing. So I would say, I think last Christmas, one of the most kind of gratifying things that myself and Allie on our team, who's in the room with us, and a few others on our team, received a handwritten note from you on a typewriter. What's the story? The real type? Do you actually?
Yeah. I have a typewriter. Yeah.
You didn't just have. Like,
I didn't have like a company print that for me.
Yeah.
No. There's no software as a service that types
that's
copy.
an idea,
That is
NFBC,
and that's currently copyrighted by me coming up with the idea right now on camera. I just like physical. I think my interest with illusion and magic comes also in this interest in the past, and this interest in sort of like archaic art forms, things that have value but aren't used as much anymore. And the physicality, the realness, the richness of spending real time pressing real buttons that smack hammers onto a piece of paper with ink to create a story, really, a letter, sentences, thoughts from my brain that then have to go through the post and take days and get to you. And you open a thing and you read a thing. It just has such a different meaning and a different weight than a text message.
Yeah.
Both are great, but one is different. And you may have thrown that letter away, but you also might still have it. And I got correspondence with friends that's just like that. And I like the idea of decades from now, I could have stacks of real pieces of paper that my friends have written me, or and correspondence that I've had that won't be just lost to the cloud, buried under the weight of all my text threads.
Yeah, don't let Satya Nadella hear that.
Right? No, I take it all back. I take it all back.
Well, it was a well-received gesture. I am kind of intimidated by what you did to propose to Eve, because based on you getting that letter, it's kind of high bar. But.
Yeah. Well, not. Yeah. I don't. We won't get into that.
That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Last question before the quickfire would be what's in store next? What is magic?
Yeah.
Look like
holiday season's coming up. Doing a lot of shows, doing a lot of virtual events, and traveling around to do events as well.
Yeah.
In the Bay Area and in the country. This show, The Illusions of the Palace Theater, that we're right in front of on this stage, the show I've been doing weekly. This show is closing on November 19th, which is coming up in a few weeks from now, or over a month from now, I guess. And then we're going to close for the holidays. Come back next year with hopefully a new act. So what I'm doing right now, just working a lot, creating new material, creating new illusions, and doing a lot of magic.
Yeah, well, if you want to lose a bet to Kevin Blake, you can find him
to the show.
Find him on Marco and come to the show.
Yeah, bring $100.
All right, yeah. Quickfire. So
Quickfire.
What's your favorite trick to do?
Favorite trick, I think, is there's two in my show that I love to do. I love to do a question and answer mentalism act that happens in the show, where people write down questions on little cards in the audience, and I try to guess what those questions are and then try to answer the questions. That's really fun because it's like an illusion with like the whole audience. In my virtual show, I love to do this. I don't even know if I should say because it gives it away, but I love doing the ending of my virtual show every time.
You don't have to give it away, but I've watched it probably 30 times, and I still don't know. just because
I love to because it's the one moment of my show where I get to really see everyone's faces where something really astonishing happens.
Yeah.
And it's really fun for me every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most you've ever paid another magician to take their tricks?
To take their tricks, to buy a trick. I have bought a trick. This is embarrassing. Eve, don't get mad at me. I bought a trick for $2,000. I think it's not astonishing levels of cost, but it was. I paid too much.
Yeah, well, I can calculate the ROI on that for you.
Yeah,
we'll take that off.
Take that
offline.
Yeah.
All right. The obvious question: what Hogwarts house are you in?
Probably. I don't know. I think it's changed. I think for a while there I was like Slytherin.
Yeah.
I think for a while there I was Gryffindor.
That's the common.
But I think I'm just like I'm a happy Hufflepuff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it a big deal within the Wizarding community to Azkaban having used the Cruciatus curse, or how did that?
Oh yeah, no, good question. Solid question, deep question. There was, I think it was a bad choice, but I mean, people make bad choices, Yeah. Good people do bad things. That was one of the lessons I take from it.
Have you ever used magic to pick up a girl, Eve or otherwise?
Yes.
Yes.
I admit to it. I'm not proud, but I've done it. Has it worked? No. But I've tried.
Yeah. Have you ever used a girl to pick up magic?
Used a girl to pick up magic. Eve has given me a lot of positive, glowing feedback from magic tricks. So in a sense, Eve has helped me pick up magic things. But she's been more of a critical component on don't do that trick. But do that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfiltered. Do people think that you're a good magician or just really good looking?
Both. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm good at magic at this point. I've been practicing for quite some time. I will say that one of the best things about doing virtual shows was being able to do magic every day, practicing basically the same tricks every day, 10 times a day sometimes, over hundreds of performances that really put me in a position to really grow as a performer. So that's one of the things I'm really grateful for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so last multi-part question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a scenario, and you're going to tell me what magic trick you used
to get out of it. Okay.
You're at an important dinner.
Yeah.
You're trying to charm a girl, pre-Eve.
Okay, so we're going back in time. Got it. Okay.
And you realize you forgot your wallet. What do you do?
Oh no, can't pay. Is that what you're saying?
You can't pay. You forgot your wallet.
Trying to charm girl. This is going really back. This. Dine and dash.
Dine and dash.
The Houdini.
Houdini.
Just vanish.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, you're working back in tech, and you're giving a presentation to a lot of folks.
Okay.
You realize you forgot to update the slides you're presenting.
Oh no. What do I do? I've forgotten to update the slides. No slides. No need for slides.
No need for slides.
Just explain it all with words. Maybe there's a whiteboard.
I've seen a couple good whiteboard tricks from you.
That's true. Yeah. I asked someone to think of a number, and we just go into a multiplication act where we do math problems.
Yeah. So you say, what does revenue look like in the next quarter?
I'll say, you guys were here for this.
And then you get them to write it down, and then it appears on the presentation.
This is something that is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. Not with no preparation, but we could pretend.
Yeah. So that's our next board meeting. Yeah. You're at a middle of a party. You don't want to be at. You can't Irish exit.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can't leave. Middle of a party. What do I do? I just start drinking heavily. No.
That's not a bad answer.
I ask someone if they have a deck of cards, and I start doing tricks for people because it'll be more fun for me and more fun for other people.
That's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for our first in-person Marco Labs episode with the one and only Kevin Blake.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for having me. Cheers.